I went to Michigan State and then I graduated and worked for about like 5 months at an insurance company in downtown Detroit, and just
insurance.
It was honestly, I don't even really feel bad talking shit about the company. It was just like not a well-run company, and like I did not love it. And I mean, the people I worked with were great, but I didn't like the constant. A, I didn't like working in a cubicle, like you noted, but B, just like office life, I realized, and kind of like I think Mark Wahlberg said in the movie, like, I'm a peacock. I need to like spread my wings and like
yeah.
I don't actually stand by that like sentiment, but in a certain way, like I do, because I feel like I would. So okay, let me back up a bit. So I would play like college shows at the weekends.
While you were doing insurance,
while I was working insurance,
I love that. I did the double life too.
Did you?
Awesome. It's something I'm very proud of. That like my accounting coworkers and clients had no idea that I blogged, and my blogging readers had no idea that I was an accountant. And I wear that like a badge of honor. And I was like, I was playing everybody. You know,
you feel like Batman. You feel like Batman. Yeah. So I mean, to a way much less exciting, or much less exciting. But so like to kind of brief you on like what I was feeling at the time, like I would be doing, Monday to Thursday shit, like Monday, Friday, like working like 9 hours a day. And then on the weekends, I would go play like Midwest college shows, like Miami of Ohio, Dayton, whatever. And then I would come back and like, so like I go from being this guy in a cubicle who gets told like from like a 48-year-old woman, like what to do, crunch numbers, all this shit. Mind you, I'm like terrible at math, so I was bad at the job anyways.
Yeah.
And then I go do these shows, and like I'm like the man, and people are like screaming my name, and
girls are all over you. People buying you drinks. You're on stage. You're the center of attention. Yep.
So it's like I go from like the lowest of lows on my Monday to Fridays, and then I go like weekend start, and I'm like the guy, and then I come back Monday and do it all over again. And so I was like, this isn't. I have to pick one.
And the minute that you start to feel some real success in your whatever, if it's music, it's blogging, whatever, like there came a point where I was like, I'm not going to be able to let you tell me what to do anymore. Like, because in my other life, I get enough respect and I get enough love that eventually that just bubbles up, and it's like, I can't do this anymore.
You just get more confidence to be like, yo, go fuck yourself.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah. So I wanted to, I needed to make sure I kept my health insurance, and because I had a bunch of surgeries and shit, I could not be one of those dudes who just didn't have benefits. And I wanted to see if I could get some severance. So I dug my heels in, and I made Deloitte, which is like a big accounting firm, fire me. And they were like, it takes a long time to fire someone at one of those big firms, because you got to like check every box and make sure that you can't be sued. So they were like, why don't you transfer to another group? And I was like, nah, I'm good. And they were like, but we're going to have to fire you then. I was like, we're good. Let's like go ahead, fire me. And it took like 6-8 months, something like that. So it was like a long time where I was mailing it in. They knew it. They were trying to fire me. I was trying to get fired. And I was like, you got to make it happen, guys. Like, just get this shit done. But it's a weird double life where, because there's just such an inherent like disrespect in the corporate world, where it's there is. It's not even like it's not like the people I worked with were bad people like shitting on me, but there's just an inherent structure of shit rolls downhill. And if you're above somebody, you kind of like, you're their bitch, and it's just how it goes, you know? And I can't. It's just
the hierarchy of it is just, it feels like high school kind of in a way.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, so like when you were, trying to get fired, was Barstool like already lined up? Like, was your gig there already going? Like, did you have stuff?
I would love to say that I was one of those dudes that like took my balls in my hand and it all. But the reality is that I was like, I am not leaving this paycheck and this situation until this one is like good to go. Yeah. So, I mean, I took a pay cut and I took a risk for sure. Like when I finally made the jump to full time, I was comfortable that like it wasn't going to go under in the next 6 months, but I never in a million years thought it could be this.
Yeah.
And there was a couple years early on that was touch and go, where I remember thinking like, this probably isn't going to work and I'm going to have to go back to that life. But hey, it was a fun ride, a fun experiment. Yeah. So there was enough of a risk, but I never really said like, fuck it, I'm out. I waited it out until, I kind of played both sides until, I could like gradually move over.
Yeah.
But but yeah, that there was a time where I was like double dipping. I was getting paid a little bit from Barstool, good money over there, and I was like, I could maybe just keep doing this forever. Mm-hmm. But it got to the point where it was like I had too much pride in my content and too much, I hated what I was doing more and more. And over here, I loved what I was doing more and more. And I was like, man, if I'm achieving this with like maybe 50% effort, what could I do with 100%?
Yeah.
But I just owed it to myself to like give it a shot. Did you have a moment, a song, a tour date, something where you were like, all right, I'm gone. Fuck it. I'm done.
So what's funny is back to kind of that conversation I was just having with you about like me going from, weekday life to weekend weekends to weekdays. We had a song, it's called Kings of Summer. And it's with my buddy Ayokay, someone I grew up with.
Fucking produce, man.
He's great, man. Yeah. Shout out to Alex. I don't know if he's gonna watch this or not, but he's the man. And no, I grew up with him, like went to school together, elementary, and so it's been cool for us to like have our careers, take off as they have, and just kind of do this with someone you are friends with, like genuinely, and yeah. But anyways, so we have this song. It's called Kings of Summer, and it went viral on Spotify. It went like #1 on the global charts, and at the time that wasn't as like Spotify wasn't as big of a deal as it is now,
right?
Which is crazy because that was only like 6 or 5 years ago. So
Spotify has had a big old blow up.
Yeah.
You hit #1 on Spotify now. It's like you have the #1 song in the world. Back then, it was kind of underground. It was kind of
right. Which is funny to say because like if I had that now, my life would be way different. I feel like. But yeah, so we had that song, and that's when that song went #1. And what's funny is that the reason why it helped to get #1 was Ian Desmond from the Texas Rangers had that song as his walk-up song. And people at the stadium were like Shazamming it as it was being played, like 6 seconds. And so that helped it get like more popular in the Texas area, in the Dallas area. And then just, I don't know what happened, but it got to #1 on Spotify, and then labels started calling and getting our attention. But then I was like, all right, I think this is my time to be like, I'm done the health insurance route. Like, I think I'm reaching a point where I can confidently like tell my parents, like, look.
Yeah, that was huge for me too.
Yeah. Like I have real companies like wanting to talk with me about my music, and but they were always really cool about it. So I never felt pressured to, stick to a 9 to 5. Like they were very supportive of what I was doing, and for that reason alone, I think it gave me a lot of confidence because I know where I'm from in Michigan, Grosse Point's a suburb that like a lot of people are kind of groomed to become doctors and lawyers, and it's a pretty well kept little suburb. So for me, I was really grateful to have parents that were like supportive of my creative, stupid side. Because clearly, as a parent, if you have your kid be like, I want to be a singer, they'll be like,
come on, what are the chances of this? Yeah.
Right.